So, do you find yourself in life constantly striving towards achieving the next goal in the belief that it will relieve you of the pain you're experiencing internally? And when you arrive at that achievement, that goal, you're left with the uncomfortable feeling that you're still in pain. And so, what I would propose is an alternative way to view things, to view the solution to your problems. Much of life we go through believing that it kind of exists on what you'd say is a horizontal axis. We go from A to B, B to C, C to D. And in that lies every potential solution to getting us out of the situation we're in. That's the way we're taught to think, right? But the way I would propose to look at what's going on in your life and how you can actually transcend that way of thinking is to consider that life exists not just on this horizontal axis, but on a vertical axis as well. And within the vertical axis is what I would say is the awareness of yourself, your understanding of who you are, the way you think about things, the way you look at the world, and therefore in that, the way you interpret the experiences of life. And if you can have a greater understanding of those things, yourself, your experiences, your perspective, you will have a better experience and have a far better chance of getting out of this mental and emotional pain that you're in. So if you've listened to that bit, you are here now and you want to hear the rest of this. So the first part of that was an Instagram clip, and I want to now expand on this concept to help you maybe navigate this as an idea. And so last week we spoke about self-belief and that being the thing which will truly help your own journey in terms of transformation, self-acceptance. And in that is the implied message that to start in this journey is one of self-questioning and investigation. And so this theory is an expansion of that from last week in many ways. It is implied within what we spoke about last week is that you are going to have this process. And so why is this important in this situation? Well, it's really important because the way in which we're taught to solve problems in life are very narrow. Okay, so if you can imagine, the way I kind of visualize this in my head is that this journey of life we're going on currently now, we perceive it as this horizontal A to B to C. And when we're doing that and we stick with that view, we have this real tunnel vision of, this is life, right? And unfortunately, if your view through the tunnel is one that is overwhelmingly negative and not set up to help you feel good and to nourish your soul, then that and the way you view that will be the way you always see things. So regardless of what is in that, regardless of what thing it is you want to achieve, if it's always through this tiny little bit here and it's a negative view, then it doesn't matter what you'll get in life, you'll still be miserable and unhappy. As much as we think the next thing will solve the problem for us. So what I'm proposing is, in this journey of self-investigation, your tunnel vision on this horizontal view of life expands out greatly. And in that, you recognize that just beyond your view, the whole time, were many of the answers to the problems you were trying to solve. And another way to look at this is to consider that instead of considering that the solution to your problem lays in this horizontal view, it may lay somewhere in this vertical view of yourself. And this, again, I know this may sound convoluted, but I'm hopefully trying to explain something that's been in my mind for a while. And this way of describing it has been something that has introduced to me recently, and I love it because it visually makes sense to me, at least. And so what I'm getting at here is many of the problems we experience, or that I experience both personally and I experience both with my clients, are problems of essence of self, of internal kind of workings. They're not necessarily problems that are tied into the outer world. But outer world solutions do provide relief in terms of certain things, which we'll talk about in a second. But what I'm getting at, and the point here is to understand, is that many of the pain, many of the problems, and much of the pain you experience can be solved from not out there, but from within, and looking within and investigating the nature of your own self, your beliefs, your values, and the things which make up your perception of reality. All right. And this is the second concept to kind of introduce in this, is that in this pursuit of solving problems in the outer world, what we're trying to do is just not actually consider the root cause of what's going on behind that. And that's really what this is about. And so in this, what we've got to kind of accept, and hopefully you'll get this, I really want you to, is that the things we're experiencing, this reality we're experiencing, we are experiencing. And it's the nature of our experience which determines how we feel. And so if you can look at it like life is going to go on, right? It's going to go through our eyes, and every moment is applied through this filter of experience and how we interpret the experience. And in that, if we can have a broader view of what we're experiencing in life, we can have a better understanding of truly what matters and probably what doesn't matter as well. And so that's really the core of this, is that the problems for many of us that we're trying to solve are ones which are deep rooted, and the solution isn't in the fix in the outer world. It's how you perceive whatever is going on in the outside world. And so as we talk about this, it's probably worth just then going, well, what's the way to go about this? How do we expand our vertical view of reality versus just focusing in the horizontal? It's all the things I talk about all the time, like mindfulness, meditation. But most of all, it's you've got to, and I sometimes say got to lightly without fully appreciating the weight of that sentiment and statement, is that you've got to take ownership for the journey you're now on. And a good analogy I would consider here is if you've seen the film The Matrix, you take the red pill or the blue pill. I can't remember which one he takes, but he takes the blue pill, and then from that moment on, he sees reality for what it is. All right. And that's probably where you are right now. You're probably going, well, fuck, this isn't great. Why can't I go just back to being like that, kind of living in ignorance? Well, because you can't. That's the price of admission for the journey you're now on. But the only way through the other side of this, the uncomfortable place you may find yourself now, is to start asking these questions, to educate yourself, to read, and to rigorously and diligently pull apart your own identity insofar as you can, in order that you can pull that all back together and find out what truly matters for you. And when you do that, that's when I think you can live a life that is truly aligned. It's not about, for me, a life that is aligned or fulfilled, whatever the language is one that may look on the outside empty. You don't have the things that other people would perceive as being a full life. But a fulfilled life truly is one that is defined by the individual based on their own inner core understanding of themselves. So that's the price of admission, and that's the way to get there. Lastly, to speak about very quickly, is a ladder of solutions, or how we tend to solve problems. And there's three layers to this. And this layer, which we're talking about here now, is the base layer of foundation, of consciousness, of understanding of yourself. And in that is the greatest thing you can investigate and not manipulate, but understand, because in that, it determines everything you experience in life. It determines everything that is going on for you and how you perceive it, and therefore enjoy it or don't enjoy it, love it or hate it. And so that base level of solution is the one of self-investigation. And on top of that, with anything in terms of solving for problems in life, whatever it is, the other two levels to that are what I would say strategies and then tactics. And much of the time, a cohesive and a complementary approach is best when trying to optimize for your experience, right? And so what I'm getting at here is on the level of base level of consciousness understanding, that work is the internal work of self-investigation, mindfulness, etc., which are largely internal practices. But strategies and tactics still need to exist on top of that to help you actually just function in this life in a more balanced and a positive way. So strategies are what I would say are things like frameworks or decision processes in a roundabout way of how you approach and enter into the different situations you have day to day in life, like how you approach work, how you approach the use of your time, how you approach relationships. There's strategies that will exist in that, okay? And so those are important to have conversations around because through better understanding of the strategies which align with who you are, the base, the better it is you can navigate the various practical scenarios we face day to day. And if strategies are that, what are tactics? Well, tactics, another word I would describe to use here is habits or rituals. So tactics are simply the check the box things that you can do every day, every week, every month to improve the quality and the potential for you to experience life in a more positive way. And logistically, it's just things like looking after your body, looking after your mind. And so that's why tactics, habits, and rituals are still an important part of the conversation. And so in this understanding of the model of reality and the nature of self and self-improvement, I think it's always good to understand is that many of the problems you face will be best met with a solution in the base level of understanding of who you are. But don't discount the significant improvement you will get from spending some time developing solid strategies and habits around the way in which you enter into the world. And so I hope this sort of short one today has been of use to you. What I'm getting at here, the message underneath the message is that if you find yourself continually in life going through these cycles of wanting to achieve a goal, believing in that achievement of the goal in the outside world will remove you or diminish the pain that you're experiencing internally. And when you arrive there, you find that you've achieved the goal, but the sense of satisfaction is short-lived and you're still in the same amount of pain you were at the beginning, then something needs to change. And in truth, one of the best kind of little quips and quotes I've heard on this is that, wherever you go, that is where you are. And if you can truly get comfortable with you and who you are, wherever you go in life is going to be a lot more fun and enjoyable because you're able to enter into it in a way where you fully are cognizant and aware of that which you're experiencing. So yeah, have a great day. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this one, and I'll catch up with you soon. See you later.